It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
On Giants.com.
I like it, I like it.
And the Giants mobile app.
Boom, give me some juice.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's roll.
Welcome to the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. For your Week 16 rapid reaction, 33-25 is the final score. The Giants went out to Philadelphia, the very first Christmas Day game in Giants history, falling to the Eagles again. 33-25 is the final. My name is Madelyn Burke, alongside the two-time Super Bowl champion Jonathan Casillas. And Casillas, when you look at this game at halftime, it was a 20-3 Eagles lead, and it looked like this one was blown wide open. Head coach Brian Daboll made a switch at quarterback at the half, going from Tommy DeVito to Tyrod Taylor, saying, you know what, he just wanted to ignite a spark. And a spark was ignited between the quarterback shift and a couple of turnovers, both on special teams and defensive takeaways, got the Giants back in this game.
Yeah, we were worried a little bit, concerned. We didn't know what was going on. We just saw, Tyrod in the game. And, post interview with Daboll said he wanted to provide a spark, and that's exactly, like you said, what happened. And the Giants are trying to figure out who they really are, You had quarterbacks go down multiple times. Tyrod, was a starter, and then he was out, and now he's starting. Now he come back in. Daniel Jones went down twice during this season. So they're trying to find their identity. Tommy DeVito has been playing, I think, motivated football. But the first half of this game was not good for the offense in general. Not just Tommy DeVito. In general, only scoring 3 points, not efficient, not converting third downs. And then in the second half, they got a little bit of gifts from the Philadelphia. Boston Scott, who's been a giant killer, and I despise when they say that, but it's the truth. Numbers are numbers, and he gave the gift of a turnover to the New York Giants. And also Dallas Goedert. We didn't speak about that, but he fell down on a Adoree Jackson interception and went right to Adoree, and he capitalized on the opportunity. So there was some stuff that the Giants capitalized on, and it was all in the second half, though.
All in the second half. You mentioned Boston Scott. Previously, coming into this game, Boston Scott had played 9 games against the New York Giants and had scored a touchdown in every single one of them. 11 of his 17 career touchdowns had come against the New York Football Giants. Today, he did not have a touchdown against the Giants. He actually had a fumble at the 14-yard line that put the Giants in a favorable field position, capped it off with a Saquon Barkley 7-yard touchdown that put the Giants up. That was a score 20-10. The Eagles had the lead. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Dallas Goedert falls down. Adoree Jackson comes away with the interception, a 76-yard pick six. His first career touchdown, Adoree Jackson's. And then, of course, he got the and one as well, because Jalen Hurts tried to tackle him in the end zone, gets called for the horse collar. And it suddenly is a 20-18 game. The Giants made it interesting in that third quarter, outscoring the Eagles. They went for 2, of course. Saquon Barkley ran it in, outscoring the Eagles 15-0 in that third quarter. Then the fourth quarter, the Eagles kind of reignited that offense. A.J. Brown really got going in the second half for Philadelphia.
Yeah, they I don't know if they did a good job in Giants defensively against them. Yeah, you know what they did? They did. I remember a couple plays where they popped the ball out, and Adoree Jackson was on them, Banks was on them a couple of times, and they did a good job. But it looked like the Philadelphia Eagles made a switch, like a thought process, like, we got to get this guy the ball.
Well, especially because right after that Adoree Jackson 76-yard pick six, the Giants are within 2 points. The defense is holding Philadelphia. It's 3rd and 20, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, the Giants could actually take a lead here. But Jalen Hurts finds A.J. Brown for a huge gain on 3rd and 20, and that really moved the sticks. It changed the complexion of that moment, and the Eagles would drive down the field, score a touchdown, and make it 27-18.
And that's the thing about the Eagles. They're so talented. Like, they're minus whatever it is now after this game. In the turnover battle, they were -6 coming into this game. And also only plus 18 points in the point differential. But they got players like that, and the quarterback that can make plays like that, I wouldn't say consistently, but when the game's on the line, he consistently makes those plays. Right. A.J. Brown being a recipient of the one today, and that's how the Eagles have been. They're so dangerous. No matter what's going on, they're such a dangerous team. They're so talented. And even though statistically they may not be playing like they did in 2022, they got a lot of the same pieces. Offensive coordinator gone, defensive coordinator gone, A.J. Brown still there, Smith is still there. They got most of their pass rushers back, and the Giants allowed Hassan Reddick to not get touched on one play. How do you not block Hassan Reddick?
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
And that play seemed like a miscommunication because just before the ball was snapped, Hassan Reddick shifts inside. It looked like Darius Slayton was matched up with him, but then when Reddick shifted, it was like, who's the assignment? Who's got him? And then he comes through untouched. And that was the only sack the Eagles got on the day, though.
Yeah, but I think that attributes to the offensive line. You know, they didn't have a good day last week, and Pugh even spoke about it. It was one of his worst games. You know, he got beat a couple of times, and this week it was clean pretty much. And, you know, you got to tip your hat to the offensive line, but also to the quarterbacks, Tommy DeVito and Tyrod Taylor, because they are mobile quarterbacks, and they did step up in the pocket to create plays down the field. So, look, it's not a great. When you lose, it's not great. You don't feel great.
Right.
But, you know, as fans, as people that's been covering the Giants for a while, and me being a former player, you know, a competitive effort against a really, really good Philadelphia Eagles team,
right.
You know, that speaks something to where the Giants started the season to where they're at right now.
Against a really good Philadelphia Eagles team, a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, a team that the Giants had not won in Philadelphia in a decade. And yes, they did not get the win today, but like you said, they kept it interesting. They clawed back. They made it a game. Late in the game, Tyrod Taylor hits Darius Slayton for a 69-yard touchdown. That's the longest offensive play the Giants have had all season. And that big chunk play really ignited things too. That made it 30-25. The Giants are within reach. They hold the Eagles to a field goal, get the ball back with about a minute 10 left, drive down the field with the help of a couple penalties and a Darren Waller catch.
But you say hold. I say they gave him a field goal.
Okay,
because, you know, I'm a defensive guy.
Right.
And for me, when I look at myself, I say, how could I have done better? We gave him a field goal. Not, we held him to a field goal.
Yeah.
It's we gave him a field goal at the end. Because they did miss a couple tackles. They didn't stop the run, and that's what the Eagles were going to do.
Right.
It wasn't like, we got this playbook that's wide open. No, we need to run the football to stop, you know, to continue the clock to drain down. Yeah. And then we score at the end, and they ended up doing it. So I think the defense, I don't want to say they let them down because they played pretty well today, but as a defender myself, as one of the former captains for the New York Giants, I will put that on us, that we should have stopped them.
That's true, because tackling was a weak point today, and I think everybody watching this game could see that the defense, they were struggling to tackle. But that being said, you know, 30-25 or 33-25, if you're the Giants, you still need a touchdown. So not letting them score a touchdown in that position and making the Eagles score a field goal there gives the Giants a chance with a minute, just over a minute on the clock.
But I'm also talking about getting off the field.
Right.
That gives them more time.
Right.
You know, instead of the rushed effort at the end. So you've made a great point. But my thing is, get them off the field early.
Get them off the field.
You know, you still got a couple of time. You got the 2-minute warning, you know, which they had, I believe, at that time. And it just makes it for a non-rushed offense.
Right.
And they have a little bit more plays that they can utilize. And look, Tyrod Taylor, he didn't play the best game that he's played, but he made plays later in the game, like that pass to Slayton, like you said earlier.
Pass to Slayton, pass to Waller with about 30 seconds left in the game. But like you said too, they were a bit rushed. They knew that the clock was ticking. They only had a certain amount of time left, and you could see with some of these passes, they might have been a little rushed. Had he had a little bit more time to calm himself, might have been a little bit more accuracy in that drive down the field. Tyrod Taylor hits Darren Waller with about 30 seconds left in the game. He gets hit pretty hard, takes a while to get up. And Waller mentioned this in his post-game media availability, saying, listen, you know, they tell you when you're hurt, you just got to get off the field as quick as possible. So he was trying to do that, but they were trying to wave him over to get set so they could snap the ball. And he's like, all right, I'm getting there as fast as I could. About 10, 12 seconds came off the clock in that moment. They had to spike the ball, had time for one more play with about 3-4 seconds left on the clock. Tyrod tosses it out to the end zone. A Hail Mary doesn't end up getting it. He gets picked off by Ringo, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah,
that Waller play that you talk about with him trying to peel himself off the ground, he said it in the interview. He got hit hard.
He did.
His back.
Yeah.
And it's almost debilitating where he goes down. He was limping after that, getting back to the
Because
huddle.
a lot of people at home watching will be like, what are you doing? Get up.
Yeah, right.
No, it's you got to realize this guy, you know.
Yes, it's hard. And it's hard to be in his position because, like he said, you're taught, like, if you're hurt or if you go down and you can't play, just get off the field. Because he was close to the sideline.
Right.
He was right on the sideline. I think if there was another player that saw it, would just get your butt out, you know, and take his place, you know. That's hard. I don't know what they're coached up, you know, to do, but that would be my only remedy to help that situation out whatsoever, because it's Darren Waller's choice to either go off the field or stay in the game. But as a player, it's like if you identify that and you can give them some type of help, I would try to do that, but I don't know.
And in any other situation, it's Darren Waller's choice, but when you've got about 10, 12, 5 seconds left on the clock and you're trying to, no timeouts left, it's like, all right, let's do this so we can get the ball spiked and all that. And of course, there was a lot of contact on that last drive, and, as some people would say, listen, some people will say, listen, the officials don't want to decide the game, but you know what, if you're going to call it in the first quarter, you should call it in the fourth, right?
Yeah, just call it, and that's the thing with these referees. They need to have more consistency.
Right.
All the referees aren't bad, but I'm pretty sure most of them have made a bad call here or there.
And it's human error, it's human nature. Yep. It's a hard job to do.
It is. I would never want to be a referee in any league. My daughter's AAU team. Yeah. That's a hard job for those little girls. So it's definitely a hard job, but my thing is, maybe make them full time. Make it like the NFL players. They don't do anything else besides their little businesses, maybe their families that they got going on, but they don't work other jobs. They focus on football. And I think the referees need to be focused more on football because it looks like they're just making a little bit too many mistakes. And it's just not consistency, and it doesn't have. The outcome of a game should be a drop pass, a fumble ball, a time ran out. It shouldn't be on the ref's call.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New You moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Right, exactly. And a call or a no call, I think either way, you've got a fan base disappointed, you've got people who have notes, and that's just why it's a challenging role for officials, especially in late game situations. The Giants fall to the Eagles. They're officially out of playoff contention, and they finished the season at home at MetLife Stadium, of course, starting next weekend. New Year's Eve, they got an afternoon game hosting the Rams. The Rams coming off a Thursday night game against the Saints. Rams still very much fighting for that wild card spot. So the Giants now, with 2 games left against the Rams and the Eagles, playing spoiler. As a player, when you are in that position, what does that feel like?
It's fun. I mean, you're out of playoff contention, so you start the season every single year. It's always get to the playoffs so we can get to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is always the goal. If you don't have the goal of the Super Bowl, then you shouldn't be playing in the NFL. The goal is always that. Then once that gets taken from you, number one, as a player individually, you say, okay, I got to do the best I can on the field for performance-wise because I don't know what's going to happen to me after this season. I got to put, some good film out there. You got 2 games, but you can do enough in that game to make a coach say, oh, we're going to keep them, or somebody say we're going to take them, and that's one thing. And then also is if you're playing playoff contending teams and you can be a spoiler to them, oh, that's amazing. That's something that you can laugh about and smile about after a game, And I mean, you're not going to rub it in their face then, but you can if you want to.
You can if you want to, right? Exactly. Well, Giants-Rams next Sunday, 1 p.m. at MetLife Stadium. It's 2023 season rolls on and comes to a close. But 33-25 is the final in Philadelphia as the Giants fall to the Eagles in Week 16. That's a wrap for your Week 16 Rapid Reaction with Jonathan Casillas. I'm Madelyn Burke, and just a reminder, the Huddle is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. From game day to every day, Citizens is made ready for Giants fans with insights, guidance, and solutions. Learn more at citizensbank.com.